Hey guys, Rob with the AIM Endurance Group. We're going to go over cycle 4 of your competitive weight workout. You should have the spreadsheet that you're going off of. We wanted to go through some of the exercises on video so you can kind of pick up on some specific pointers to maximize your productivity. You're going to notice on your spreadsheet the first thing that we talk about is isolated leg squats. I suggest that you do them on a towel. Okay, we've introduced these previously in our other phases of strength training, and I've received quite a few emails of being confused about it. Like, for example, this is just an oversized large beach towel folded up just 3 or 4 different times. Okay, the idea behind it is we're just trying to create some instability. Some of you have emailed me and asked, well, what about a BOSU ball, or what about a balance board, or anything like that? It all works. The key is I'm looking for something that you could do on single leg that's going to be pretty difficult. Okay, and just by standing on a towel with one leg is going to completely change the dynamics of standing on one leg. If you haven't tried it, again, make sure you do so before you try to incorporate it into your workout, where at this point of the workout you should be pretty fatigued. All right. What I want you thinking about is I want you to get nice and stabilized on the towel. I want your core to be nice and tight. And notice I don't have any weight. Okay, I personally don't feel that you need to use a tremendous amount of extra weight. Just get used to using your own body weight. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep my position looking up and tall. Notice I'm not leaning into it is my point. And all I'm going to do is have you come down about a quarter of a squat. As you get more comfortable with it, you can try to get progressively deeper. But here's my point. I'd rather you do 6 good ones with a quarter squat than 3 sloppy ones at a half squat. All right. Now, as soon as you stand on this towel, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to gauge both gluteus maximus and minimus. All right, helps you create the strength and the stability in the hips, where the head of the femur comes in. It's going to help you eliminate injuries and reduce injuries if something were to happen, unfortunately. The other thing is it's also going to create that symmetry and that balance that we've been talking so much about throughout this whole series. All right, as you come down, what's going to happen is this leg has no choice but to engage and turn on. All right. If I'm using, let's say I'm right leg dominant, if I'm trying to do something on both feet, the right side is stronger, more coordinated. It's going to do all the work. The left side gets left behind. Okay. So remember, this exercise needs to be done on left leg. Then you need to come in and you need to do it with your right leg. It's just vitally important. And you will find that there is some balance issues. One side's going to feel a little bit more comfortable. Well, hello, that is your dominant side. So that's why we want to focus predominantly on your weaker of the 2 sides. Okay. That's isolated leg squat. People have asked, can you do them on a balance board? You can. The problem is trying to get truly balanced on it. I just think the towel is simple. I'm not a big fan of the BOSU ball, because what I find with the BOSU ball is the arch of your foot starts to go into spasm as you try to maintain balance. Now some people are good where they can take the rubbery side and put it down and have the more of the flatter surface. Again, I think you're overcomplicating the simplistic if you just use a beach towel. Okay, but it's up to you either way. The next exercise that you have on there is what we call balance board tic-tocs. Okay, again, you've seen these previously in other weight workouts. Now we're going from a fit ball, which is just a bouncy air ball, which weighs 6 to 8 ounces. Now we're going to go into a weighted ball. Again, I wouldn't encourage you to get overzealous with it and try to pick up a 25-pound dumbbell, or excuse me, weighted ball. What I'd suggest you do is just get one where you can start to get acclimated to trying to throw your balance off. For those of you who maybe haven't seen this exercise in any of the previous workouts, first thing we're always trying to do is we're trying to create some balance on the board. Okay, you may find that one side has a tendency to take over. Just try to initiate the movement and establish balance before the board hits. So if I start to feel it tilting to the left, I don't want to overreact. I just want to put a little more pressure on the right. It's a very subtle, very benign, but a very productive drill. Just sitting here on the board is going to create more proprioceptive balance than you realize. Okay, when we throw the ball into the equation, what we're trying to do is you're going to straight arm the ball, which is going to turn on the anterior delt. All right, and what you're going to do is you're going to rotate that ball to one side while I keep my belly button facing forward. Now as I do that, obviously I put more weight onto one side, which forces the opposite side to try to counterbalance it. All right, so as I bring the weight out to the side, I'm keeping my arms straight. I'm bringing it to the center and I'm stopping, and then I'm reinitiating the movement. Now every time I stop and reinitiate the movement with the ball, what ends up happening is I have to use more muscle tissue to initiate, stop. Remember what we talked about? All of your strength is generated the first couple inches of every range of motion. So the idea is once I'm here and then I stop the ball, it takes a lot more energy to stop the ball and reinitiate it than if I just kept moving. Like this area right in here, I'm not doing as much work as when I stop it and redirect it, okay? What I want you to be thinking about is don't get frustrated if this board starts tapping like a rattle trap, okay? The idea is to move slow, keep the arms straight. Yes, you may run into a situation where your upper body starts to get tired before your glutes or your calf muscles or anything. That's okay. The idea is we want to be working multiple muscle groups all at one time on purpose, okay? So that's going to be TikTok. Use the weight subjectively. If you find that you're not able to do that without the board, then go to a lighter weight. Go to no weight at all and just use your own arms. Just enough to throw that four-dimensional left, right, top, bottom, front, back off. That's what this is all about. The third exercise that you have is what we call skaters. And I really need you to pay attention on this one, okay? Skaters can be very productive, but they could also be very harmful if you get kind of checked out mentally. And this is what I mean. This is what the skater is going to look like, okay, from side to side. And what I want you to be thinking about is that you're looking to try to get to a spot. Now you can put a cone out here if you want, or you can create a visual, you can put tape down depending on where you're working out. But here's what I want you to be cautious of. If I lead with my knee, if I go to hop, it's kind of like a speed skater, is hence the word. What I don't want to do is get my knee in front of my ankle where all of a sudden now I have a risk of blowing out my ACL, MCL. I want you to think about hopping over an arc. Imagine if I had a cone and a piece of wood here where I'm starting in a squatted position to turn on glutes, quads, adductors, calves, and I'm hopping up and I'm pausing, and I'm pausing. And you can change it up. You can see I'm trying to do some a little quicker, some I pause a little bit longer. Try to keep it fun. Keep the variety up for yourself, okay? The same way we were talking about when you're moving the weights, your ability to stop all that inertia with one leg is going to strengthen the lateral part of your body incredibly quickly, all right? So when you go to get up the next day and then 2 days later after doing these, don't be surprised if your hips feel a little bit tighter than usual and you're wondering, where did that come from? It's coming from skaters, because a lot of our activity tends to be linear. We always do everything forward. We do very little laterally, okay? So those are going to be your exercises in this particular cycle. Again, move slow, move with purpose, and when in doubt, email us if you have any specific questions, okay? So keep your eye out for the next cycle of this next cycle within this training, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.